Hi everyone, as promised, we're here with Dr. John Gray, the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and also you can find out more about his work at marsvenus.com. John, good evening.
Thank you. Good evening to you.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. We've been trying to have you on for a while, so it's great to talk to you finally.
I'm happy to be with you.
Now, I wanted to find out, I usually say that if someone cheats in a marriage, the solution is not just to find out that the person cheated and either forgiving or moving on, but it's to find the root as to why they did that. Why do you think that people usually are led to do something like cheating in a marriage?
Well, I'm completely aligned with what you just said. I agree with you completely. I just get sick to my stomach when I hear people say, "Oh, you know, my partner cheated on me," whether it is a man or woman, so we're getting a divorce, and we have 3 children. I mean, come on, give me a break. Now, this is just absurd that we think that just because your partner cheats on you, therefore you should get a divorce. You should get a divorce if you can't love each other. And don't pretend that you're loving them if you can't forgive them for having an affair. But the reality is when an affair happens, it happens for 2 reasons. One is a person is dissatisfied and not getting what they need in the relationship. That's one. And the other one is simply stupidity. And that person needs to wake up and understand that having an affair is going to hurt your partner. Mm-hmm. So you've got stupid people or immature people who basically, and it tends to fall in the category, and this category tends to be more men in my experience of working with people, is they're out of town, there's an opportunity, and they could actually be very satisfied in their marriage, but men get horny, and women do too, of course, but men do get hornier more, way more, 10 times more. That's what women need to understand. It's all about testosterone. He's got 30 times more testosterone. And it has a huge impact on how much men want to have sex, particularly if they've got healthy testosterone levels. So suddenly he's wanting to have sex. His wife's nowhere around. So some woman's coming on to him. There's an opportunity here. So he thinks if my wife doesn't know about it, it's not going to affect her. But what I want to explain to these men, it does affect her. You know, some people will say, well, she's probably going to find out one day. And a guy can easily dismiss that thought. Well, no, I'll just keep it secret. No, what you're doing is you made a sacred contract when you get married to share your love monogamously. And that's what I'm addressing. The people who start out and say, we want a monogamous relationship. It's a betrayal of trust to cheat on your partner. But it's not the end of the world crime that you have to end the relationship. How do you stop loving someone because they love somebody else? Come on. But it does cause a wound. Right. And that wound has to be healed. So you have to understand why the partner did it. And if it's stupidity, you just share how much it hurts and how important it is to feel special. That's what a relationship is. It's fulfilling the soulmate need. If you're living as role mates, throughout history, men have had affairs, women have had affairs, and it's not a big deal as long as you don't embarrass your partner. And that's been acceptable. There's nothing of moral judgment here. It's just what standard do you want for your relationship today? Today, we have the opportunity for experiencing a soulmate, a connection on the soul, experience a lifetime of growing love, lasting passion, personal development, full expression of potential. All these things are possible to us through having a truly nurturing, fulfilling relationship. And most people want that. That's when they get married. Nobody goes down the marriage aisle thinking, okay, we're going to have a great honeymoon, then I'm going to be cheating on my partner. So imagine how good you felt when you were directing all your love to this one person, and that feeling, that's your soul talking to you. That's your potential. And so many people don't realize that. And part of it is just men think, oh, I can get away with it, my partner doesn't know. Now, the other reason for having affairs is generally why women have affairs and many men have affairs. And that would be because I'm not getting it at home. I'm not experiencing the magic. I'm not experiencing the passion. I don't feel connected to my partner. I'm just not turned on to my partner. But give me somebody else and I get turned on, and you suddenly feel alive. Your body comes alive. You feel young and vibrant. Of course you want that. Why should I be stuck in a marriage? It's like a prison where this person resents me, this person is unappreciative of me, this person ignores me, this person neglects me. I'm stuck here and I can go meet somebody else and they're like all excited and I'm excited. Wow, that's like going to heaven. Why wouldn't I want that? So unfortunately, we have these we have this potential of being fully alive through soulmate sex, for example, and soulmate interaction, fully love, but we don't know how to sustain it. And I feel sorry for people because they don't have the skills. They go to therapists who teach the wrong stuff. They read books that teach the wrong stuff. They follow their parents' advice. They do the wrong stuff. This is new stuff. And yet what's unique to everybody is most everybody wants this, what I'm talking about, but they don't know how to get it.
Right. So I think my final two questions would be, do you believe that if there is unfaithfulness in a marriage, in a relationship, do you believe it's possible to regain 100% of that trust you lost in the person?
You know, there's one book I read by a lady, and it's called My Husband's Affair Was the Greatest Thing That Ever Happened to Me. And because when the affair happened, it gave them a chance to recognize how unhappy they were with each other and see how both people were responsible for the affair. In this example, the woman was able to see that her coldness and her rejection and her disapproval and her inability to find happiness within herself, her neediness, her depending on him to make her happy, she saw that that was her mistake, just as her husband having the affair made his mistake. Right. So when people are mature enough to recognize when one partner makes a mistake, two people are involved. And this takes a higher level of consciousness. I don't think everybody is there. But I help my clients get to that place. I'm a tough therapist. When you have problems, I have people look at, there's no victims in my office. I see we're all capable and responsible for what happens to us. Even if somebody is a bad person, why are we staying with them? Sometimes that's the reason. What are you doing to contribute to that problem? I don't see victims in my practice. There are victims in the world, and the reason they're victims is they have no education on realizing how they're creating their problems. You know, if I was driving my fancy car down to the store and somebody keyed the side of my car, it cost $2,000 to fix. So am I a victim? No, I shouldn't have been driving my car in that neighborhood. I shouldn't have even been driving that car. What I did is I sold that car because it was an expensive car. It bred resentment in the people in my neighborhood. And so why would I do that? So we have to get out of this victim state and get into another state, which is the state of what works and what doesn't work, and think of the whole picture. And when marriages fail, okay, what's not working here? Take responsibility for your side of it. Then you can find forgiveness, and then you can rebuild the trust, and it can be a real trust.
Right. So I think my final question would be, I'm sure you can't consolidate 30 years of experience working with relationships into one advice, but if there was one most important piece of advice for couples, what would you say that was?
If you're having problems, stop blaming your partner and recognize how you're creating them, one. Two is if you're having problems and you're blaming your partner and you can't recognize how you created it, and you can't really, otherwise you would have done that, realize you need help. And you need to get help from somebody who actually has a great relationship, not some of these divorced psychologists or something, or somebody who's recommending drugs if you're depressed and you're not happy. This is all nonsense. We should learn how to make ourselves happy. And if you're not happy and you do have a biological problem, instead of taking antidepressants and these drugs that only make the problem worse, that's proven to make the problem worse, find the natural solutions for it. And I've written lots of books, and my website has all kinds of natural solutions for anxiety, for depression, for unhappiness, for lack of energy, lack of motivation. Because sometimes the problem is we just are eating the wrong foods. We're not taking care of our body, or we're not taking care of our mind, or are too busy to enjoy our lives. And we're the ones who are at fault, not our partners. Always take it back to yourself, and you have a chance of changing. But if you have problems, why do you have them? Because you don't know better, so you need to get help. People need to get help. The challenge is, who do you get help from? Find somebody that inspires you, who's also an example of what you want.
Okay, Dr. John Gray, thank you very much. I want to reiterate what you said. Don't seek help from the wrong people, and try to find help from, for yourself to be happy first. Don't try to change your partner. I think that's great advice. If you want to get more advice and learn more about the work that Dr. John Gray does, you can visit his website, marsvenus.com. Dr. John Gray, thank you very much for being with us on the show.
A real pleasure. I love your ideas. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, thank you.